Hello everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 Poopcast. We will be kicking off in a momento. We'll let it roll for a little bit just to let people filter in if they choose to. It's just me this week. No Mikey. Mikey is somewhere doing something. I don't know what Mikey's doing, but he's not here today. So you're just gonna have to put up with me. Yay! Try not to cry too hard. I tried to cry when Mikey told me he was busy, but the tears, they would not come. We have someone in chat. Hello, Bush 1G, if I said that right. Welcome. How's it going? You doing well tonight? Today? Whatever time it might be for you in your land. Hopefully you're doing well. As I wrote in the description for the show, there's not a lot of Transformers news to cover. We're a little bit bare bones. But you know, we just came off San Diego Comic-Con, so it's not really a huge surprise. I did get a few little doodads this week, so I've got those to talk about, so that should be fun, hopefully. And hopefully chat might have some questions that I can, you know, finagle into some kind of interesting content. We'll see how it goes. It might just be a trash show. Hopefully it won't be, though. Hopefully it'll be somewhat entertaining. But yeah. Hopefully the people out there are doing good. Everybody in the world, you know, hopefully all having a good old time. I hear this won't be part of the show, but you know, I hear Earthspark season 1 part 3 has finally kicked off, and is done, I guess. Like season 1's finally finished. What an awful release schedule. I don't know why they think this is a good way to release a show. You know, in blocks of not even 3 episodes, but this weird, like, here's a big fat dump of episodes. Then here's like 3 episodes, and then here's the last 3 episodes. It's a weird way of doing it. Not the way I would recommend releasing your show, you know? But obviously I don't make TV shows for children. Or TV shows in general. So again, what do I know? I haven't watched it. That's why I'm not going to cover it. I know Mikey watched it. I was hoping to get his thoughts on how it was today, but yeah, he's not here, so I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait 1 more week to hear if it's good. I think I saw on Twitter that he said he enjoyed it. My question, of course, was going to be, but would I like it, Mikey? Because I have a feeling, unless the show took a dramatic change from the previous episodes that I'd seen, I have a feeling the answer would still probably be no. But maybe I'll be surprised once the streaming sites that I watch have it on board, because I'm not going to sign up to Paramount. I'm afraid. Okay, let's get some recording in chat. How about them apples, and we can start pooping. Wouldn't that be dandy? Let's get the screen up first. That's not the thing. Where's the thing? That's the thing. That'll be our first story. Okay, want to find my music. There it is. We'll play some music, and then we'll start with the pooping. You ready, pals? You got your pantaloonies all up around your waist? Hopefully you be... Okay, music time. I won't fanny around anymore. Music time.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, and I'm joined here by my left and my right hand. And that is all. There is no Mikey this week. He's off in the land of Ireland doing fae folk stuff. I don't know what that stuff be, but I'm sure it's fantastic and mythical, as is most of his existence to me. I assume. I don't know what he's up to. I hope everybody's doing well out there in the world of the internet and Transformers lands. We're going to be talking about Transformers news this week. Unusual, as I'm sure you're aware, for joining into a Transformers news show. We're going to be covering that today. What a surprise. There wasn't a huge amount of news. Pretty lackluster, but we have just came out from San Diego Comic-Con. So what can you expect, really? Hopefully, these stories will be amusing and entertaining. But like I say, there's not a lot. But yeah, I guess we'll just roll that ball forward and talk about DNA Studios. Yep, we're kicking off with third-party toys, because What a shock, right? We never talk about third-party stuff straight away. DNA doing the DK44 Studio Series, not Revenge of the Fallen, Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime upgrade kit. So, this set is going to come with new guns, swords, axes, smokestacks, feet, and more. And it includes a mini Evo suit as well, apparently. I'm going to assume, looking at the images, it's a monopose Evo suit. But the parts, as usual, on their own, look pretty nice. What do we do? The upgrade. Oh, okay. So we get some proper. The smokestacks look nicer. I'm gonna assume, because I don't have the figure. I'm gonna assume that the smokestacks on the original Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime are rubbery. I'm gonna guess that. These ones are painted silver at the very least, so they look a bit nicer raw. It looks like we have some bits to fill in some gaps around the back of the legs, I'm assuming. Hard to tell. The new foot seems to have a toe bend, so all of those toe hoes out there can really get into the grimy, jammy details of posing Optimus Primos. Swords are, they're swords. You can stick them in his wrists, so you can make him hold them like real swords. They look fine. It's kind of a staple of Optimus Prime to have swords coming out of his, his arms these days, I suppose. I guess it's because he comes with an axe. But I would have thought, focus on the axe. Because in my eyes, from what I remember, and I don't granted remember a lot about the Rise of the Beast movie, I think Prime uses axe more than his swords in Rise of the Beast, but I'm not entirely sure. New guns, they're painted silver. They're bigger. So they look a little bit more intimidating. They're probably, again, more accurate to how they were in the movie, which makes sense. Oh, you can store them all on his back too. Oh, wait, he does come with axes. I'm stupid. Not a combined axe, single-bladed axes, but it looks like you can throw a lot of this stuff onto his back, so you can put on one arm cannon onto his back, his two swords, or his two axes. There's only so much room on his back to store these accessories, but it's nice that they've got that compatibility. That's always a good thing. Though having the cannon on the back, it's probably not super accurate, right? Because the gun hand transform, do all that jazz, rather than just I'll put it on my back like a big old inflatable mitten thing. Or the little styrofoam hands you used to see in gladiator events back in the day. That was a long time ago, though. So we got those. Some promo poses. Yeah, I was right. It is a monopose shot for the exosuit. He's doing, of course, the Iron Man look. It is the superhero pose that we all know and love. You can apparently stick some of the energy effects parts into his back. Not really sure why you do that, because the energy effects part make it look like he's doing the Iron Man pose, and then would be pushed along the ground, which doesn't seem like a super wise idea unless you want to bury yourself in the earth. But what do I know? I will say the energy effects parts are a little booed. They don't look very good. They look more like the water effects that New Age did for their Inferno, and other people have done for the Inferno. It doesn't look to me like it's a big, impressive energy blast. At least in the movies, they shoot shells, don't they? Because it was part of their body. I remember that. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? The explanation for, their weaponry was they were shooting bits of themselves which they'd grown inside of themselves. It was like they were shooting their nails or hair follicles at each other. They just happened to be turned into bullets. I thought that was pretty stupid then. I still think it's pretty stupid now. But yeah, these energy effects don't look great. But okay, the other things it seems to do is, because the toes are allowed to bend for the feet, and it looks like you can do a few other things for the legs. The vehicle mode looks a lot tidier, a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. So that's a big boon. I'm just looking at these images, and instead of having half the shin or the thigh behind the back of the red cab, you can just leave them as is. That's visually a lot nicer looking. Doesn't look as awkward to me. And of course, you can store all of his weapons onto this truck mode. the cab mode parts. It's cool. It's cool. Doesn't look like you can get everything on there, but it looks like you can get a decent amount of stuff. Did this one come with a trailer? There's images of him with a trailer, but I don't know if this is his trailer or somebody else's, in all honesty. But you can, you can drag the trailer around. The image has the Autobot insignia blurred out because Autobot insignia. Don't know what that is. Ooh, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Couldn't fathom what that was. But no, this, like I say, seems like a perfectly okay upgrade kit. Not amazing. This is another kind of DNA toy where upgrade kit where I look at it and go, I think you really need to like the figure already, or be monumentally disappointed in the figure to justify getting this kit on the basis that it's probably expensive. Most of the DNA kits, in my eyes, seem a little bit overpriced. XL Hedge in the chat says, that's the Earthrise / Kingdom trailer. I thought it was. I didn't want to put my hat in the ring and say, guaranteed that's where it was from. But thank you, XL Hedge. Yes, there you go. I guess it's a close enough approximation. It does look now that I'm looking at it, it does look a little awkward on the back of him, like it doesn't belong, because it doesn't. But yeah, if you like this toy, get this kit. If you're incredibly disappointed with this toy, sell it. Don't keep it. I don't think this upgrade kit will massively change your opinion on the figure, but I could be wrong. Seems fine. Seems like a usual DNA affair. Next up, I got this because TFW didn't report on it. We got more images of the TransArt BWM11 Transmetal Tarantulas. Our boy. My boy. My lovely little lad. Spawn of Unicron. Specifically, he's coming out in the third quarter of this year. I don't know. I think we're in the second quarter, maybe. We're still a while away. So end of the year, I guess, is when he's going to be sliding into your homes because it's cold outside and spiders like to come inside when it's cold. At least that's what I find. We got some nice fancy colored images. These seem to be final images, I'm going to say, of Tarantulas. The first image, really cool. They've obviously digitally enhanced his eyes so they looks like they glow, but they don't. But it's really well lit. It looks really good. But yeah, Tarantulas looks really fucking cool. I have to get this. I like Tarantulas. I think his normal, transmetal toy is really good. It's really good, but it has problems, right? It's got issues. And I'm hoping this will fix some of them because he'll actually have posable hands and digits. The concern is like, what compromises are there going to be? I'm looking around the shoulder area specifically and going, oh, how is that all going to, connect together nice and solidly? Ooh, I don't know. Hopefully. I've got big hopes for my little scientist lad. He does transform into his stupid bike mode. I always enjoyed it, but it is stupid. You cannot deny that. Oh, he's got a fake chest. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm looking at the top of the spider mode, and you can see on the bottom side his what would be originally the tarantula head. The tarantula head's on his underside as well. Oh, okay. Probably for the best, just to get the proportions right. Look at that. Look at me picking out things. Yeah, of course they're different sizes. Look at the little bauble eyes on that one versus the bauble eyes on the robot chest. Of course it's different. Stupid Andy. My God. Yeah, but this looks really good. He seems to come with 3 spider drones, tarantulas drones. I don't know. One comes with the little hands that they have, the little claw hands. One comes with the bucket, and one's on its own. I wouldn't suspect these are going to have a huge range of articulation, but it's nice. And I think this is going to combine very nicely, if you have it, the Black Arachnia, like, masterpiece scaled energy web thing, right? Because you can have him, like, posed on the web from when he, like, comes back to life in the season 2. Spoilers. But yeah, it looks great. The head sculpt's really solid on point. I hope it follows through. I hope it hits. I hope it hits hard. But again, I look at the arms connecting to the torso. does get me a little bit concerned. But hey, no one else is doing, Beast Wars figures, really. Or at least Transmetal figures. Which are better than the Beast Wars ones, easily. XL Hedge says, please don't let tarantulas be fragile. Yeah, that's true. Please don't let tarantulas be fragile. Please don't don't let him be fragile. Well, here's a question, XL Hedge. Are you saying that because of an experience you have with the original Tarantulas toy? Are you there? Or are you saying it because you've had a fragile experience with Transart toy? Which experience is it that you've had? Because I think my Tarantulas has been fine. Granted, I really only have two Transarts figures. One is their Optimal Optimus Prime, which I don't like. And if you want to buy one from me, you're more than welcome to. I will take your money, and you will get a Transart Optimus Primal. Win-win, maybe. And I've got the Transarts Transmetal one Megatron, who's very good. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. He has flaws, but he's still very, very good. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to get here. I remember Mikey complaining or saying that people had issues with the Rat Trap and the Foe Head, which I don't really give a shit about because of proportions and whatnot. I don't really want to get Cheetor, Transmetal Cheetor, or Transmetal 2 Cheetor, because I generally don't like the design. I think it's always been an awkward, ugly design, but he is still in stock if you want to buy him. You want to buy him, the big ugly cat boy's there. And he's not a bad figure. Like, he looks like he should, right? And that's the problem. He looks exactly like he should. An ugly bastard. He's an ugly bastard. There's a reason why he had 2 episodes thinking he was a monster, because guess what, chat? He is a monster. Visually, he's a freak. He's a goddamn freak, I tell you. The other ones that are coming up, we've still got Dinobot 2, Transmetal Dinobot 2, Silverbolt, and Quick Strike. Those are the pre-order ones at the moment, and we got some shitty repaints. But yeah, I missed out the Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia and the Rat Trap, because go fuck myself. I guess that's how it goes. XL Hedge, just hoping in general this would be my first Transat. Oh, okay, all right. Well, like I say, you can still get the Megatron. Yeah, he's pretty good. I have him, so I know. Jobby reviewed him too. You don't trust Jobby. What are you, hateful? Don't be hateful. Believe in Jobby. Look at him. Again, he's not perfect. I think what you have to remember with the Transarts figures are they're not perfect figures. They are cheaper than most third-party figures, though. So, you know. And they're fun to play with because they're not overly complex. Get this guy, XL Hedge. Stop picking on Cheetah. Cyber puberty is a bitch. Yeah, like his entire face is a pimple. Transmetal 2 Cheetah is a giant pimple that needs popping. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see someone try to make Beast Machines Cheetah. Who's going to do that? Who's going to defy not only physics by having them transform the way that they do, which is they don't transform at all in that show. It's impossible for the Maximals to transform because it was a lie. But I want to see someone try and make that robot mode and have it stand. Remember how spindly his legs were? Ooh, that would be an engineering nightmare. A nightmare, I tell you. Nightmare. But we've still got a few Transmetals left to go. Transmetal-wise, who could we do? We've done all of the Primals. Done all the... we haven't done Transmetal 2 Megatron. Technically, they could do Transmetal 2 Megatron. Rampage. Depth Charge. Who else needs doing? Who else from the Transmetal cast hasn't been done? Chat. Who else hasn't been done from Transarts who needs doing? I can think of 3. I don't think you do Transmutate because, I really like the Transmutate episode, but I don't need a figure of it. It's a bit of a mess, obviously. And we got the 2 Fusors. Oh, Tigerhawk. Yeah, we could have Tigerhawk as well. That'll be pretty fun. Quick Strike. Yeah, we're getting Quick Strike. Quick Strike is coming, XL Hedge. That one's on the menu, as is Silverbolt, as is Transmetal 2 Dinobot. I think after that, that's all of the TV Transmetal figures. So do they then just go, hey, let's round out the rest of the cast, from season 2 and 3? Or do they move on? I don't know. I guess time will tell. But over in the world of Hong Kong, I assume. Oh, it is. The Animations Comic and Game Hong Kong event, or the ACGHK 2023. Rampage, I mentioned Rampage. Rampage was one I definitely mentioned. I mentioned Rampage, Depth Charge, and Transmetal 2 Megatron. I mentioned those three. The other ones, I can't think of anyone else who hasn't been done or won't be getting done. Over, like I say, in Hong Kong, the Unisquare Conbot Optimus Prime, which I've never heard of till now, and Starscream, and Optimus Prime Bust. So Unisquare is brand new by Kids Logic and Sentinel Toys. I've heard of Sentinel Toys. I know Sentinel Toys. They had on display in stylized versions of action figures or model kits of Starscream and Prime. So let's have a look at these things because I haven't had a chance. So this is the bust of Prime, a stylized Prime. Looks almost IDW. Don't know if that's what they're effectively were going for. It kind of does look like a stylized, more Japanese anime-esque version of an IDW character design. His boobs are exposed, so you can see the Matrix within him, which actually looks like it has a little sock over the top of it, keeping it nice and safe and secure. Starscream and Optimus Prime. The Prime seems to be in a... I don't know if the bust is this figure, but it's all that's been done. And then there's like a grey prototype of the same thing. Maybe that's it. Starscream with two massive null rays. My God, they're huge. They're the same length of as his body. It's a little intense. Though it looks like the design's a little bit similar to the Flame Toys one. For Starscream, at least, from what I remember offhand. I wish we had... there's a better shot of Prime. Yeah, the Prime looks okay. Definitely anime-esque with the kind of hero proportions that you would suspect. Looks like he's got a ball joint in the shoulder, double-hinged elbows, wrist swivel, skirts will move, all that jazz. Looks like he'll have a minor ab crunch, or at least an ab tilt, left and right. Starscream, again, going for the same kind of aesthetic. Very small mouth. Very small mouth. Yeah, I'm thinking these are all the same. I guess if you're into the aesthetic of the Flame Toy stuff, these might be okay to go with them, potentially. Especially if they are painted up the way that the bust is. The bust is in a kind of nice metallic-y kind of color scheme for the red and for the blue. And a bit more of a dull, dirty metal color for the insides, which makes sense. Who knows? I mean, we know what Starscream's color scheme is going to be, right? And if they do in the same paint, which I assume they will, he'd be nice and flashy and high-end looking color-wise. This is very early. These are in prototype stages, and they are in static poses because I'm sure if you pose them too much, they'll just turn to dust and explode, as is the way of prototypes. You got to be careful with them. I always wonder when I see prototypes at shows, how many times have the team bringing them had to glue them back together? How many times? Transporting and all that jazz. It's rough on these kind of dudes. It's rough on them. There's not really any other information about these guys in particular. I think if these do fine, we'll see the standard follow-up figures being Bumblebee, Megatron, 2 repaints of Starscream, the usual, maybe a Soundwave. I don't think, unless it does really well, it'll expand from there. But I'm happy to be surprised and eat my hat. I don't own any hats because I've already eaten them all in the past, so I don't need to worry about that for the future. Also, at the Hong Kong event, there's Kurokari Kiri Starscream. We've got color prototypes. There's the Furai Model Bludgeon, which is in the grey prototype. Banzaitron and Beast Megatron. All of those are grey prototypes. These are model kits. These are Mikey's cup of tea. But he's not going to talk about them this week because he's not here. Have we seen this Megatron before? I want to say we have. I want to say we've talked about this Megatron before, but I could be wrong. because I'm wrong a lot. But I want to say we've seen this. Either way, if we have or haven't, still, the design looks neat and interesting. I like the shoulders. I like the fact he has tusks or teeth coming out the front of his shoulders or chest, like the chest-shoulder area. That's pretty cool. This has to be the first time we've seen the Banzai-tron, right? Right? Big hand, small face. It's like he has a normal human-sized skull and then super anime robot proportions. I like it, though. It looks pretty good, but it's noticeable how small that head is. It looks a little too small. Aggressively too small. Banzai-tron, is Banzai-tron working the same? No, Banzai-tron's a different mold. I'm looking to see if they've got, like, any shared parts, and I can't see that they do. It looks like they're completely different. But they do have, like, not similar, but they have the same kind of idea of the shoulder pads being, that kind of samurai armor design, but they are different. It looks like they are differently sculpted. I don't think we get a close-up of... No, we don't get a close-up of the Banzai-tron face, though. As I wish through them all, unfortunately. We do get to see the guy taking the photo, and a big... My God, how big is this? The reflection of the dude's phone makes it look like he's got a comedy-sized phone. Like, it looks like it's about the size of his entire torso. Yeah, small things amuse me. It's perspective and all that jazz. The Starscream, yep, he looked good. It doesn't look like he's final version for the Starscream. Oddly enough, the null rays on his shoulders are super reminiscent of like Galaxy Force design. Very, very Galaxy Force. So it looks like a bit of a blend of Galaxy Force Starscream, G1 aesthetic Starscream, and a few other bits here and there. I always liked the Galaxy Force Starscream design. Maybe needed a bit more color to make him pop, like the blue on the arms and the forearms and stuff. But it looks nice. It looked good. Mikey won't be getting this one. This is one of them high expensive action figures, like $2,000 to $3,000 dues or whatever it is, like 200, 300, something like that. The expensive boy. 2 repaints, right? 2 repaints, probably. We're gonna go with 4 repaints. We're gonna get Acid Rain and Sunstorm. Hopefully not. No, we're gonna get the Cell. When are we gonna get the Cell? Oh, that's the one everybody wants. They look at this guy, they're like, I can't wait for them to do the Cell. Or Redwig. Oh, give me Redwig. I love him. He's red, and he's got wigs, and he's got such a good character. Blech. And then you hit those people in the head and tell them to leave. Oh, we get a shot of his accessories as well. 3 faces, lots of hands, a crown, shoulder pads, and then some other bits. Oh, then he gets some guns. I wonder if the guns can be held as null rays as well for a more standard G1 looking null ray set. Either way, yeah, solid Starscream. Megatron, Mikey's definitely going to get this. Am I making assumptions because Megatron's a dinosaur and he's a paleontologist? I sure am. Am I going to peg him as that? I sure am, no doubt. If there would be any, like, to tempt me, it would be a Banzai-tron, I do like Banzai. Well, Banzai-tron and Bludgeon. They're the 2 goodest boys. Big old weebs. So, I'm good for that. Yeah, these look good. They've also got a Megatron in there, G1 Megatron. Which I assume isn't... Well, maybe it is theirs. No, it must be theirs. Have we talked about that one on the show? Maybe? I don't know. We've probably talked about it before, but there's G1 Megatron there as well. So that's pretty cool. I suppose. Now, good old garbage chat. Everybody loves a bit of fucking garbage. We got the Transformers Authentic Optimus Primal and Bumblebee Nerf guns. Oh, I know. And the Jada Toys Rise of the Beast RC Bimblebee. Just go with me here and just say Bimblebee. So, what are these? These are Nerf guns. So you'd be like, oh, so they look like the guns from Rise of the Beast? No. You silly little Watson. Of course they don't look like that. Yo, big silly sausage. Of course they don't. This is just a Nerf gun. I I don't know what kind. It's bloody Nerf. They're all the bloody same, isn't it? They're all the same. Look like the fucking same gun. It's just got Bumblebee and Transformers logos just plastered all over the top. It's an 8-shotter. That means anything to you Nerf gunners out there. Imagine if you're an adult Nerf gunner. Most of the time you're going to be getting these guns, especially the ones that look like movie props, and just like scrubbing them down, sandpapering them, and then spraying them up and then painting them to look like the movie props that they're meant to be. So this doesn't look like a movie prop or based on a movie prop mold. So this would be for them chillinders. The chillinders. What age is it? Between 8+ chillinders. It's a cheaper one. $14.99 dollary dues, I suppose. Oh, the primal one's a bit more expensive. Oh, it comes with 16 bullets. My God. Again, this doesn't look like it's anything that I should know. Looks like a big fat, like single-handed shotgun. You know, like the ones you see in video games where the people are just like, yeah, I've got a shotgun in each hand. And you're like, oh, no, you can't do that unless you're a superhero. The recoil, my dude. The recoil. And then the RC car is definitely a Rise of the Beast. Bumblebee 1977 Chevrolet Camaro RC car. USB things and batteries. And yeah, it's just an RC car. I don't think it does anything desperately fantastic. Just below the Bumblebee one, I can see there's a Fortnite gun as well. So shows how special it really is, doesn't it, chat? Ooh, just bloody Nerf. Just bloody Nerf. Can you get a Fortnite pickaxe? Nerf pickaxe. Is that something you can do? Let's have a check. Nerf. Fortnite. Is it a pickaxe? Pickaxe. Oh, pickaxe. Okay. Oh, you can get a Fortnite pickaxe and handsaw. Okay. And a scythe. A very small scythe, but a scythe. Yeah, that's kind of nice. These look way better than the Rise of the Beast ones. Oh my God, I think some dude's made a custom one, and it's Houge. It's fucking Houge. Ooh, there's a banana thing. I don't know what the reference is. And a slurp hammer. I have, I don't play Fortnite. I'm not 3 years old, so. And there's a burger gun. Oh wow, the Fortnite AK-47. Everyone's favorite. A crowbar? Oh, that's not Nerf. That'd be great. Can you imagine a Nerf crowbar? That'd be quite fun. All right. Oh, look at that poor woman with the tiniest bow ever. Oh, that's so sad. Like, I like bows. I've been bowing twice. Is that what it's called? Oh, archery. I've done archery a few times and I've really enjoyed it every time I've done it. So I see this teeny tiny little bow, and I see she cannot draw it back because it's a fucking toy. I'm like, oh, that's just sad. That just depresses me. But you can get a banana gun. The micro peely. Oh, it's a Nerf gun with a 1-bullet shot from a banana. How would you feel to be killed, chat, by, or people listening in general? How would you feel if, like, you entered the pearly gates and they were like, oh, how did I die? Is it Michael? Michael outside the gates? And you're like, Michael, how did I die? And they went, oh, you got, someone shot you. And you're like, oh, man, that sucks. It's like, yeah. It was funny, though. And you're like, oh, why was it funny that I was shot and killed? It's like, because it was a banana gun. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, a guy literally made a banana into a gun and shot you. It's like, damn, that's not a good way to go. At least it's an embarrassing way to go, I would say. I do like the AK-47 or whatever this... I don't think this probably isn't an AK-47. Back in my day, this would have been an AK-47. That's a cool-looking gun. Spray it up, make it look real cool, though. Never mind. I do like the scythe as well. I definitely would have wanted the scythe as a child. Because okay. Practically, in war, I don't think a scythe is a practical weapon. But scythes look cool. Right? And it's got that edgy factor. And I do like my little blob of edge. So give me that scythe. Fuck yeah. All right, so we've also got in Americano news, the Earthspark Deluxe Starscream images. Why did I use this as the image for the show, chat? Simple. because it is another Earthspark figure. That is the Cybertron Deluxe mold for Starscream. Lamau. Sorry, Starscream. We're even going to use your image on the box from the show and just show how incorrect this is. It's another fuck you. Fuck you, everybody. Well, fuck you, kids. That's how it feels like to me. It makes me once again go, is Transformers really targeted at children when the children's toy line doesn't have, like, the unique molds? You know, why didn't you just, like, at the very least, remold the head. Just make the head look like the original show. And a kid would probably forgive the rest. I think this is really egregious that they keep doing this. I don't even like Earthspark. I don't think Earthspark's a great show. And I don't think this figure was good to begin with. Wasn't this a warrior? I don't think this was a deluxe figure. I'm pretty sure the it says in the story here on TFW, this redeco of the Cybertron Deluxe mold Seeker Starscream. Was this the deluxe? Because it looks shit. It looks proper shite. Are we sure it's not the warrior Starscream? Let's have a check. No, not Earthspark. Cyberverse. Warrior Starscream. Let's have a look. Oh, no, it wasn't. The Warrior one's way worse. I was like, there's no way. It's like, no, it's just even worse. The Warrior one's just total caca-poo-poo. Oh, my bad. Sorry, TFW, you were right. I just assumed that the figure was a lot better. I thought there was a better version of the figure, but clearly I was wrong. This was the deluxe. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Let's be positive. It's a nicer color scheme. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a nicer color scheme. The Earthspark one has a nicer color scheme on it. I'm flicking back and forth between the two because I'm just trying to double check if I'm insane or not. Yeah, okay, I'm happy to state that. I'm happy to say that the Earthspark one has a nicer color scheme than the Cyberverse one. It is still 100% the same mold. And I still hate the fact that the kids line that they keep touting the Transformers is for kids is getting just really shitty reuses of molds. I guess you could say repaints because Shockwave was a repaint as well, wasn't he? It was just the Cyberverse toy, just a repaint, very lightly. He also comes with a Dr. Mandroid, that dude. He's got another one of the arms for the Builder figure. You can replace his human arm with, I guess, one of the two female Seekers' arms. What was it? Nova Storm and something. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. But yeah, you can replace it with the black and gold one's arm. So your Dr. Mandroid can become more machine than human. And I'm sure eventually he will become a full robot man, because that just seems to be like the journey you go on. And it'll probably be like a, Autobot X kind of reveal. Like, he's a monster. We will reject him as a horrible mutation and we will pull him apart like the monster he is, that he did to us. Yeah. I will never forgive a toy. It would. What's a good example? What's an example of it being done fine? Oh, I know an example of doing this kind of idea, but it being okay. Armada, listen to me. So Armada reused. Oh, actually, I could use RID as well. We'll use Armada for the moment. Then I'll circle back around. So it was okay for Armada to do it because they use Beast Wars molds, right? And you're like, that's stupid. That is pretty stupid. If they were the main cast, they were not. They were background characters on Cybertron. Why were they animals? I don't know. Background nonsense, woo woo. Fine. I don't mind that. If I remember that correctly, I might be remembering it wrong. Another good example of it being done fine, not egregiously or annoying. Transformers RID, not the latest one, the old one. Car robots. We had pretty much pretty much all of the Decepticons / Predacons, that the enemy were just redos of either G1 toys or Beast Wars toys. I mean, Gas Skunk was just Stink Bomb. I don't think they changed it at all. Unless Gas Bomb, Stink, Bug, whatever, the skunk. Unless he had a maximal crystal in him, then they would have plopped that out and put on a Predacon one. Otherwise, it's just the same, right? All the Decepticons, apart from Megatron, Gigatron, that guy, all of them were just redos. Even Scourge, obviously, he was just Laser Optimus Prime. They were in the show. They looked like that. You pick them up and you went, these are much older figures, but they're in the show and they look 100%. Well, they look like they do. This doesn't look like the Starscream. That's why it annoys me. Because in the 80s or 90s, I was mildly annoyed, perturbed, if you would, the G1 characters like Ironhide, because I had the G1 Ironhide toy. I was annoyed that Ironhide looked nothing like Ironhide in the show. I was like, why is his head in his chest? And why does he look like a speak and spell or a light bright interpretation of a human face rather than Ironhide's face? It annoyed me. This isn't as egregious as G1 Ironhide. I'm not going to lie and say it's the same irritation. Not at all, but this is still annoying. This is still annoying. Exelhedge, spoiler, Mandroid's story is over in Earthspark. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, fair enough. I'd go, oh no, spoilers, Exelhedge, but I don't give a crap about Earthspark, but cool. Beep poo poo. Mr. White, hello, Mr. White. Ironhide looks like a fever dream in G1 form. He really does. G1 Ironhide is a treat. G1 Ironhide. No. Ironhide toy. He really, like, when you think that he's a Diaclone figure, he's a very good toy for back in the day. For what you can barely see his face in that image. For the kind of figure he is, he's an okay toy. I tell you, I liked the Ironhide toy despite him looking nothing like Ironhide, and I'll tell you why. Because I really liked how he transformed, and the fact that 90% of him came off the back and turned into their little mobile base thing, which made no sense to me. He kind of did it when they were kind of divert a giant flood in the 3-part at the start of the series. It barely looks like Ironhide, but I do remember having a lot of fun transforming it. There was something about flipping the little treads into the cab and closing up that kind of small base mode into its shell form to plop onto his back. I don't know. That was really satisfying. I can't tell you why. I just remember always enjoying it. And man, Ratchet's just sad in comparison, isn't he? He's literally just Ironhide. Mr. White says, I like the genuine. I like that they genuinely tried to feature Ratchet's platform in one of the early stories too. Yeah, they attempted to do it. They definitely attempted to do it. And I think it's good that they took liberties with the design, because I don't think this would have worked quite as well. This design would have been okay. 100% this design would have worked in GoBots. I'm thinking of the GoBots that have the giant, like, back section, like the driver's seat section as their face, right? It's just a window screen and that's their face. That would work here. If Ironhide was in GoBots, that would have made a lot of sense as well. The toy, at least. But yeah. Either way, I hate Earthspark. I hate the toy line. I think it's very disappointing all around. I know some people I know there are a lot of people that like Earthspark, but there are a lot of people that like the Marvel movies as well. As we know, they're wrong as well. They're drinking the copium. They're huffing on that the hopium. Mr. White, not I needed to cosplay G1 Ironhide at TFN. Hang on, are you saying you did cosplay as Ironhide at TF Nation? When did that happen? Did I miss that? What year was that? I don't remember. Have I blacked out and lost a load of memories again? Maybe. Possibly. Let us move on from the disappointment Now you need. Okay. You said not. I was confused. Now I need to play cosplay as G1 Ironhide. That would be if you could manage doing the original G1 toy Ironhide as a costume. I think that could be pretty cool because no one would do it. No one would do it. No one would do the toy specific version. Excel Hedge, wasn't Megatron riding around on Ratchet's sled in IDW Regeneration 1 with Ratchet mashed into it? That's a question for Mr. White, because I didn't read Regeneration 1 because it was based on the old Marvel comics. Something that I had zero interest in. Mikey might know, but Mikey's not here, so Mikey's probably answering somewhere. We got some nicer high-res images of the Shattered Glass... Oh, what did they bloody call him? Shattered Glass Sideswipe, that's right. Who will totally not be repainted into Armada Wheeljack. He totally won't be, chat. And his little Minicon partner, who I actually think the Minicon's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. I don't remember Sideswipe coming with twatting sticks. But the Shattered Glass version comes with 2 twatting sticks, so you can bonk you on the head if you're lewd and rude. I like the head sculpt. Again, definitely not Sideswipe. 1,000 placenta is just Wheeljack from Armada. But that's okay. That's okay. That's not bad. It is just kind of... have they... Wait. The twatting sticks stick to the side of the vehicle mode where the doors are. It looks like they've lifted the car doors up in vehicle mode. Is this meant to be like a tiny nod to his... It is. They're trying to emulate the Minicon gimmick from the original toy. It's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea. It shows how shit his Minicon gimmick was, but that's a nice feature, which will totally be transferred over to the Wheeljack figure, obviously. That's why this entire figure exists. Entirely. But yeah, the Minicon seems to be okay. We get some nicer images of that. I do like the new head sculpt. I just really wanted to bring it up because I thought it was worth mentioning that the head sculpt is nice and definitely not Sideswipe. But this mold is getting its uses because they did Sideswipe. Was this exactly the same, or was it slightly retooled from Siege? Because I know Sideswipe was there. Pretty sure Red Alerts used this, but I could be wrong. Excuse me, chat will probably tell me if I'm wrong or not. I don't think they used Sunstreaker. I think they did something unique for Sunstreaker. But it feels like this mold is definitely getting run through the ringer. It's not Earth Rising. It's certainly not Earth Rising Voyager Starscream. But it feels like I've seen this guy quite a lot already. And I already want to get this mold for the G2 version when it comes down in price, but that's a problem for future Andy. Not current Andy, thankfully. And the last story. Oh, we're already on the last one because ain't shit else to talk about. We get some nice new product images of the HasLab Deathsaurus figure and the packaging. If you want to have a look at the fancy box and whatnot. They show him. I don't know why they've made the biggest image of him sitting in the chair on the back of the box, as it's his least dynamic and cool looking, but it's there. Some nice images of him. We saw these kind of poses and shots from San Diego Comic-Con. We get to see more of the Dino Chicken, Space Chicken. I'd say the shot that they've used here for the bow is not as good as the one that we saw. Not as good as the one we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, but it's there. I think the artwork's really nice. The artwork on the front of the box is really cool. He doesn't look this cool in person. Like, the artwork's way good because they've got really cool shadowing effects and all that jazz. I don't know if it's Guido Guidi or if it's one of the other Transformers alumni. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before, but it doesn't say off the top of my head. It doesn't say here who did it, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Guido because it's very good. But there you go. Looking good. Who in chat's got one of these coming? Mr. White, I know you're a HasLabber. Pretty sure you've bought one of these, right? Yeah? Maybe even 2. Maybe even 2. Mr. White says, Regen 1 Ratchet was welded into Megatron's transport. Got a great time for our medic. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you, Mr. White. It's not Transformers news, but they did show some images of my His Tank, which will be coming in the future. One thing I didn't suspect, it seems like they're going to be, each of the figures are going to be packaged individually, which is nice. So each of the His Tank drivers are going to have their own box, and the Mirror Mask Cobra Commander is going to come in a retro-style card. I hope the retro-style card is not to the point where I'd have to rip him out and damage the packaging. Hopefully it's slide-a-bibble, but, you know, I think I might be I might be dreaming for that to be the case. I don't know, chat. I think I mean, I paid a lot of money for the bloody His Tank, don't get me wrong. But I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. Remember, like, currently, one G.I. Joe's figure is £25, I think, or something like that. So 4 figures, that's 100. This is me justifying myself really poorly. 4 figures, that's about 100, and then was it 200 for the tank? I guess that makes sense. Lights and sounds. Justify. Let me dream, chat. Let me dream. I would never. Mr. White says I would never go near a HasLab release. Sorry. So what you're saying? You'd never go near one and tell anybody. I understand. Keep the shame to yourself. I do that as well. I keep my shame to myself most of the time, unless I share it with Mikey, and then he tells me not to tell anybody else because it would do irreparable damage to my credibility. And I said, I don't have any credibility, you boob. Excel Hedge, not talking about the San Diego Comic-Con panel questions or how stupid Activision lost the source code for War for Cybertron. Well, to be honest, I didn't know if there was anything of value in the questions. Is it worth going through? Because we can go through the Q&A if I can find it. I just assumed like it was just crap. Because a lot of the time these are pretty shit. Okay, let's read. For the gamer, okay, well, since Excel Hedge mentioned it, and you know, it's not like we have any other news. The Hasbro team discussion. So okay, a question. For Gamer Edition, is it limited to War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron, Dinobots, Bruticus, etc.? And all the Transformers games be included? Will all the Transformers games be included? Pretty much all. This is the answer. Pretty much all of it. I think the clear winner will probably be everybody wants some Devastator stuff. Devastation stuff. No, we don't want Devastation stuff. Do you know why? Do you know why we don't want Devastation stuff? Because it's just G1. Oh no, you know what it means. You know what it means. Or at least you know what my fear is. It means repaints, right? It means gamer, like cel-shaded versions of the figures, right? Fuck. We need to figure out how to do some oh, fuck off. We need to figure out how to do some cell shading for it. Oh, my balls are not happy. My testicles are not happy. Because I'm 90% sure that's what that means. They're not gonna, I don't think they'd make an entire new mold for Megatron to not be that fucking Earthrise mold. For them to, though we've had a cell-shaded version of that. I just don't trust him, to be honest. I don't trust him. Excel Head. Devastation stuff was just Combiner Wars. Yeah. A lot of it was just Combiner Wars and G1. Oh my god. Continuing from War for Cybertron, think Fall of Cybertron is on the table. Yeah, well, why wouldn't it be? Team has even joked about doing Mystery of Convoy. Oh, that's... No, I cannot... No, okay. Another concern. Mystery of Convoy, right? What if they use the Studio Series Ultra Magnus and just do it? You know how NECA do the video game editions of their figures like Terminator and Rambo and stuff like that? And it's an interesting... They've done like Jason Voorhees where he's blue and he has purple skin and like a teal face mask. My concern is they do something similar with the Ultra Magnus and it'll just be a fucking repaint. Another fucking repaint You need to stop, Hasbro. I'm begging you. But it seems like that's a joke, so I hope that's not so. Doing some sort of dot deco or something like that. Yeah, they are. They're talking about repaints. We have the Ultra Magnus now. Oh my god. And we have the Rodimus from Kingdom. Oh my god. It's like, why not? Because of no repaints. You have enough, Hasbro. Who are these for? Who are they for? They're not for children. Who are they for? Who are you marketing towards? Who are you going to overcharge while marketing towards, Hasbro? Oh my god. Why not the N64 Transmetals too? Because you don't have any toys for the Transmetal figures. You know why? Because you shat on Beast Wars during Kingdom. You couldn't let Kingdom be the Beast Wars line. You had to go, no. G1 still has to be part of it. And it has to be the majority of Kingdom. And you're like, well, we could do Transmetal too. Oh my god. My concern... Here's a concern. Would Hasbro make Transmetal molds? Because that could be fun. That would be nice for them to do, because they didn't fucking do it. They just jumped over it. Or would they get the Kingdom figures and just repaint them into Transmetal-esque looks? Is it cynical to think that they just repaint them Transmetal? Yes, it is cynical, but that's the feeling I get from it. Hasbro disappoints me a lot at the moment, I'll be honest. We can get some of that in there. There are a lot of options. If you make some new models, there would be. If it's been in a video game, we have the opportunity to look at it. Taking a little bit of a cue from what Star Wars team did with their game stuff. There's no licensing issues. We own all that. It's all on the table for us. But we want live action movie stuff. There's always stuff going on. You can still deal with Paramount and the licenses. Okay. I tell you what they're not going to do. Transformers. Hang on. Transformers online game. Now. What was the online game that I remember that I really liked and thought was pretty good? What was it called? Chad? You know the game I mean. The MMO. It was the game that me and Jai played. You know what it was. Are we even going to have images of this bloody game? I'm searching for it because I remember it. Because I want to show you those designs and be like, can we have those figures? Because we never got them, and a lot of those were pretty cool. Wasn't this one, was it? No, it wasn't this one. No, was it this one? 2012. No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't 2012, I don't think. What was it called? Oh my god. It's gonna be Kingdom repaints as Transmetal. I know. And I fucking hate it. Mr. White, I hate it. It might not be. Like maybe they'd make new molds. Lamau. Maybe they'd make new molds. They should. They should make new molds, but realistically, they wouldn't. Realistically, they wouldn't do it. I want to find this bloody game now. I'm annoyed. Games. What was it called? Oh, Universe. Transformers Universe. Universe. Game. Because otherwise I'll bring up toys, won't it? Yeah. Characters. Oh, fuck. Yeah, like this. Like this lady. This lady robot. She was cool. The Decepticon one was better. But look at these neat designs. They're primey, but they were all kind of neat. They all had an interesting look to them. I really liked this game. It wasn't like super good or anything like that, but they won't do these. And if they did, they'd G1ify them. It would suck. I played mainly as the Decepticons. I'm sure you're shocked about this. I remember this dude. He was the medic. He was really cool. I liked him. I don't think that was the lady that I played. She wasn't the sniper, because the sniper was like yellow or purple and yellow colored. She was pretty good. Wasn't her either. Yeah, this game was neat. Mainly because that was her. Dust Storm. Dust Storm was so good. Dust Storm. Yeah, yeah, she was a buggy. I don't know how they'd make the thing work, but Dust Storm was great. Oh my god. I'm gonna put on the video. I don't care. Shush, stop yelling at me. Look at this. Oh, look at it. Well, people who are listening to the show, obviously you can't look at this, but yeah, I thought these designs were really neat. Like I say again, this was very much a Prime design thing. But no, this was fun. They won't do these. They should do these, but they won't do these. The frame rate on this trailer is anus. I don't know why the trailer's so bad. This is 720. This is a bad rip. Either way, look at these cool designs. We'll never see them. Not G1 enough, chap. Not G1 enough. Guaranteed. All right. Another hang on, did chat say anything? Are you talking about Transformers Universe from 2014? It seems I was, Mr. White. We found it just before you sent that message in. But thank you for sending it in. Another question. Possible to re-release the Activision games to coincide with the Gamer Editions? No. No, I don't even need to see this. No, it's not happening. Sadly, apparently Activision is not sure what drives... what drives they're on in their building. Oh my god. When a company eats a company that eats a company, things get lost. Yeah. It's very frustrating. Hope is that now the deal is moving forward with Microsoft and Xbox, that they'll go through all the archives of every hard drive. Shouldn't that just be somebody's job? I'd do that job. Send me the hard drives. I'll go through them. Give me money. I will do this for a job. That'd be fun. Well, maybe it wouldn't be. It'd be monotonous, but I'd do it. Because it's an easy Game Pass ad. We want those games back up for people to play them. Yeah, you should. Definitely. You know, it's a real bummer that most people can't play Devastation, for War for Cybertron, Fall for Cybertron. It's a bigger bummer that we didn't get the final one in the trilogy. You notice how no one talks about the game that took place after that Hasbro mandated they make, the one that tied into the movie. You notice how no one talks about that. The one that Hasbro basically used to fuck over High Moon Studio in some ways. Like, I'm a shit with the movie. Dumb idea. You ruined that game. How did that impact the process of making Gamer Edition? Sam had to load up the games on older platforms because there were some decos we couldn't find. Really? Wow. We have some CAD, but not colored. So we had to find some characters, details within the games themselves. Okay. I mean, you probably could have just looked at a YouTube playthrough. It's fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sure there are other reasons why they did it. That's fair. So do you have some of the game assets then? We do, but it's very interesting. Fall of Cybertron, we have everything. Well, the best one. For War for Cybertron, we had to rip it ourselves because they could not find it. They kept sending concept art instead, which we didn't want. We want the CAD. So I want the if you don't want the concept art, I'll have the concept art. If it's physical, I'll have the concept art. If you don't want that, I definitely want that. So we booted up an old computer and ripped them out from there, which was a learning experience and a long weekend because we just wanted to get it right. So that's why we did it like that. All right. Now, if you don't want the physical copies of the game assets, I'll have them. I'll have the concept art. I'll have them. Definitely. Another question. What led to the Gamer Edition creation? We thought it was about time that we did the game figures, and we wanted money. We wanted some money. Were Activision or High Moon involved in coming up with the idea? No. No. What? High Moon's dead. High Moon don't exist anymore. Activision don't give a shit. Why would they care about another company's profits? No. That's a weird question. They actually weren't. I wish I could zoom into my face on stream because this is a zoom in wow or keck laugh moment. Of course they didn't. What? Dumb question. Because we own the rights to the game. I'm going to add this in here. And Activision don't give a shit about what we do with our own license or product. They're the license from us to be produced, so we have that freedom. Again, we kind of took that from Star Wars. We looked at what they were doing with the Black Series. There was gamer stuff. It really seemed like a natural progression because we wanted to see what we could expand Studio Series into. It doesn't only have to live. It doesn't only have to be live action, which the team started within the 86. Sorry, with 86. There's a natural progression. We're running out of characters. We're running out of G1, guy. Characters eventually. How do we keep Studio Series going? Well, what is Studio Series? Studio Series is meant to be... whatever. Gamer Edition came as a suggestion from the engineer who's been on Transformers a very long time now. When we started doing the 86 movie stuff, he was like, it would be great if we did this as well. And it was like, yeah, you're totally right. We need to do that. And got the ball rolling. All right, so what do you do after Gamer Edition? Because there's only so much you can milk from the Gamer Edition. I don't. Clearly, they don't know what Studio Series is. Studio Series is meant to be about the movies. Why it's called Studio Series. This feels like oh god. Okay, games. Do the games. Another question. Hasbro turns the table, asks us if we'd consider comic publishers as studios, and they could live in the Studio Series segment. Led to a small back and forth. This is the answer. Led to a small back and forth on the subject. But in short, it seems Hasbro may be interested in something like this. Okay. So they might be doing comic versions of characters in the future. I guess that makes sense because we've seen Javelin and the other lady robot, whatever her name is, I can't remember offhand. We're getting that 2-pack, so that would make sense. Senator Ratbat and Orion Pax. Yeah. I wouldn't say that's a huge shock. Are more video game franchise collabs possible? Oh, who cares? Since we've done a few things like that before. Answer: it's interesting. Collabs continue to grow. You get to get free money, I suppose, by giving your license out to people. And companies are approaching us. Yep, we want your license. We'll give you money for your license. So everything is on the table. We want your money. Please give us your money. Sure. Use our license. We definitely want a partner to partner with the video game companies. Clearly, Nintendo partnered with Lego, and they made a Nintendo system. Yeah, it's like I look at the Lego Nintendo. Don't want it. I think it's really interesting. It's a really interesting idea. Wouldn't get it as a Lego person myself. Full Lego sets myself, but I can appreciate the ingenuity behind it. Or there was the Super Nintendo Transformers at one point in Japan. Like we would love to be able to do something along Nintendo partnership with Lego. Oh, I bet you would. Because that's money there. Oh, I bet you would. Can you make us a transforming Super Mario figure? No, we don't really like Super Mario. No, we don't want it. Any company out there, like, I don't know, a partnership with Sega, you've already had one. You did Takara did at least. A partnership with Microsoft or something. Sony, even just making a PlayStation, even just to make a PlayStation would be awesome. Takara already did it, right? Takara already made a transforming Sega system and a transforming PlayStation. They wouldn't work with you, I assume, because they'd rather work with Takara, is what my idea would be, because they've already done that. So shrug, you know. Andy, what would you suggest as a Transformers 40K crossover? Transformers 40K crossover. Obviously, you have to do Space Marines, and it has to be Ultramarines, because there is no God, and it's the only thing they'll ever do. Preferably, I think it would be more interesting to have a Warhammer vehicle, because they're interesting and unique, and we haven't had, physical representations of them in kind of like action figure things. So that would be kind of neat. transform it into something. Maybe you could have like a Lehman. Is it too easy to say just a Lehman Russ? Because it is just a tank. It is just a tank, which is kind of dull. You could do a Thunderhawk. Yeah, Thunderhawk into something as a robot, and then blob on, an Autobot head onto it or something like that. Yeah, that could work. A bit generic. I think the problem is when you do crossovers, you have to go. Sometimes you have to go as generic-y as you can. Like, do you make a character from said franchise the robot, or do you put a Transformer into that role? And if you put a Transformer into that role, it's probably going to be Prima B, right? Usually. One Autobot and one Con. Oh, one Con. What would Decepticon? I mean, if you do, again, the boring answer would be a Decepticon would be a Chaos dude, right? That would be the boring answer. And again, the boring answer would be a Chaos Predator tank, because again, it's just the easiest thing to do. But you could do some interesting stuff with, making it into a Hellbrute. I don't know what you'd have a Hellbrute transform into, but I do like the idea. Yeah, maybe instead of like Decepticon, maybe you could do Quintesson into Chaos like Demon Machine. That could be quite interesting. I just saw the next question. Oh no. Something like that, I would say. Yeah, maybe something like that. Next question. Maybe some sort of crossover with the game like Warframe, for example? Oh, no. Okay, Mr. White, you're going to have to give us some info. Mr. White, what would your answer to this be? What would you like to see from a Transformers Warframe crossover? I'll finish the question. They have Warframe, for example, they have characters that are called Prime Warframes. That would be interesting. Their answer, yeah, some of their designs are very Michael Bay-esque. We've already answered your question as a company. We would definitely like to have money. Thus, we would like to work with these companies. Or maybe and another question. Or maybe Transformers Pokemon. Would you like to get money from the Pokemon Company and Nintendo? Answer, no, we hate money. We definitely wouldn't like any money. We'd rather set fire to that money that we'd get from a very easy sale of Pokemon Transformers crossover. Who would want that? With one of the biggest properties in the world, Pokemon can lick my ass. Then it says the microphone was cut off and the person on the on the Hasbro stand was taken away and shot. Oh no, that's a lie. Of course they said, the dream. Yes. Would you like money? Yes. Would you work with this company to get money? Yes. What? Yeah, Mr. White, throw down your answer in chat. What you would like to see from a Warframe crossover, and I'll get to it. Warframe. Oh, XLHedge has one too. Warframe, rather have a Destiny 2 crossover, maybe a raid on Cybertron. So when you say that, do you mean a crossover with the game, not an actual toy? Or do you mean a toy, XLHedge? Warframe, aren't very Bay-esque. Oh. I don't know Warframe well enough to say that, to challenge you on that. You're the Warframe expert here, Mr. White. So I'll just nod and go, oh, that's true. Yes. More animated, if anything, but it would be a simple repaint. Yeah, realistically. Or armor based on Transformers, says XLHedge. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Basic things for the video game rather than physical things to sell to people. That's fair. Another question. So we kind of hit on this with Comic Talk. Oh, good. More reiterating questions that we probably have the answer for. But just to elaborate, first we had 86. Now we have first we had Studio Series, which was just about the movie, the live action movies. Then we had 86. Now we have Gamer Edition. Expanding Studio Series even more. Even more? Okay. What sort of other things could happen? Why is this? We can't tell you. We just told you we just came up with the Gamer Edition. All right, what's the real answer? Anything that's technically a studio could be on the table. What does that mean? Anything that's technically a studio could be on the table. We're trying to look at that and make sure that it's authentic to what Studio Series is. I don't know what that means. We don't want to just shoehorn everything into Studio Series, but we are thinking about having it as the live action movies, the 86 movies, the games, and the comics. but we're not thinking about having everything shoved into it. That sounds like a lot's being shoved into it, personally, but yeah, okay. Maybe I'm just being cynical. That could be the case. But we do know that there are opportunities to grow the brand. There are, but you just keep shitting on Earthspark, and that should be how you grow the brand. Growing the brand is what you do with the children. You know. It's like a drug dealer, right? The first one's free. You drug the kids with a little bit of like with a little bit of the wowie sauce. And then you build them up to the crystal meth. The kids aren't going to go for crystal meth straight away. You need to sucker them in, you know, with sugary candy, and then you get them on crystal meth. You know? You do that with Earthspark. That's the sugary sweet. And then the legacy line is the hardcore cocaine. You know? You build up to it. Grow the brand. I don't know. The shoehorn in, opportunity to grow the brand. We always say from screen to toy. So that's Studio Series? And a lot of people read comics book on screens now. Yeah, we've already covered you want to have the comics move over to Studio Series so you can charge more for them than if they were in Legacy. That's true. The game, Andy, unfortunately, Bungie doesn't seem to toys anymore. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Didn't they have a thing with McFarlane toys at one point? Oh, no, that'd be Studio 401 or whatever who does Halo. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen a huge amount of Bungie things. Mr. White, honestly, the best angle would be Beast Wars repaints utilizing the animals in the open world with Warframe. That could be interesting. As ultimates. Okay. Is there a vast variety of animal colors in Warframe, Mr. White? I assume there must be. All right, next question. Next question for me to be very cynical and unhappy about. Which I don't mean to be, but that seems to be how it's going. Moving to Legacy. There were a lot of Transformers animated characters that went unmade back in the day, like Omega Supreme, the Constructicons, Striker, etc. Do you intend to finally make them? You don't want them. Okay? You don't want them in Legacy. Do you know why you don't want them in Legacy? And me and Mikey have covered this. Because they'll make them G1. You do not want them in Legacy because they'll make them G1. And thus it will not, if you want animated figures, they will not be what you want. There will be G1 interpreted versions of those characters. And at that point, why even bother? Why even bother? Let's read what they say and I can be disappointed. I can continue to be disappointed. They're always on the table, right? We'll make things eventually. Sure, we'll make a thing. Legacy does provide us with provide us that massive sandbox. I'm gonna say in quotations, as long as they're G1, as long as they fit with G1, as long as we can make them look G1, they fit in a massive sandbox. I think as we approach our 40th, there's a lot of stuff to pull from. We want to celebrate every fandom, as long as it's G1. Always say that every series that came out is somebody's first entry point to the franchise, whether it's live action, video game, animated, RID 2001. Oh God, Victory, RID 2015. Does it not feel dirty saying that? Excuse me. There was a kid we were always talking to before, and he was like, "I'm a Star Saber kid." And it was like, oh my God! So everything's been looked at as best we can. There you are. You know, the mainline characters, more popular characters that maybe show up sooner. I'm doing this movie, but everything is always being looked at. Such a general non-answer, though. Will you make it? That's the will you make a thing? We will think about making a thing. We will think about making a thing. Again, you don't want it in Legacy. You don't want it in Legacy. Animated Omega under Legacy. No. No, you know what they do? I don't want to guarantee what they do here, Axel Hedge. Let me put on my cynical hat. Imagine my PNG slowly putting on a little hat. My cynical hat would be this, right? They want an animated Omega Supreme. You know what we didn't do? We only used the arc once, and we didn't repaint it. So what if we repainted it and gave it a new head? It's good enough, right? That's good enough. That'll do. He turned into the arc in animated. You would just use the arc from Legacy. Good enough. New head. Done and dusted. Cynical Andy would say that. Because I think from a business perspective, that does make sense. That's a disgusting sense that it makes. The only Omega I want under Legacy is Omega Prime. Yeah, well, we've seen that generally they won't tweak the designs of RID. For the most part, Scourge looks like Scourge, even though his color scheme's wrong. And we know that Sideburn's probably going to look like Sideburn, so I think Omega Prime would mostly look correct if they ever did it. They're always considering it, though, Exel Hedge. They're always considering doing him. Always considering it. Can you talk about any plans for future lines? No. No, we can't. No, we can't talk about future lines. What's their actual answer? Safe to assume that there will be a third part of Legacy. It's safe to assume that there will be a third part of Legacy. Would say stick around for the fall. We kind of have cadence that PulseCon tends to be where we say what's coming next year, or cadence. So now that PulseCon's been announced, I think everybody kind of has an inkling of that. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking too hard about it, but yeah, makes sense. Clearly, we got the Legacy Wave 4 fan stream out there, which, okay, yeah. We wanted to make sure to do that because they were starting to leak. Yeah, and he was still behind it. He was still behind it, unfortunately. You can't beat the leaks, unfortunately, guys. You can't beat them. Studio Series Wave 4, we finally finished the panel. We wanted to get those out so that when we hit PulseCon, we're looking towards 2024. It's going to be fun. So no, we can't tell you about what's coming. Come back to Hasbro PulseCon. Come see that. That's what the answer is. Question. There's been a lot of characters we've seen before that never made it into shows at all, like the animated Marauder Megatron Power Master Prime. That has to be animated as well, right? All the other Allspark Almanac characters used as examples. Things that exist in a more nebulous state. In other words, what would you be able to do with stuff like that? I'm trying to think what they would do. Probably not a lot. I think if it's if they were going to do something interesting, we would have seen it a long time ago, right? We would have seen them do, a really interesting thing that they could have done, and I don't know the legality behind it, was they could have made the original RC toy. Like, just make the original one. Make the original Unicron toy. And be like, this is clearly a thing for collectors. We never made these toys originally. We are making them now. So if you want to have the original Unicron toy that obviously never came out, here you go. That would be fun. That would be one of those things where you'd be like, I can see why you're putting up an exorbitant price, because it's a very specific market. But it is very much like here's something for the fans. That makes sense, I would say. Mr. White says, I have to admit, I wouldn't mind animated Almanac characters as animated repaints. But they won't do that. No, they won't do that. No, they wouldn't do that. I'd like to see the Almanac characters too. There's some really cool designs in there. Like the Skybite, I remember, was pretty cool. Striker, obviously, Cyclone. I'm not going to go through all the characters because there's a load of characters that they never did. The Marauder Meg. I don't know what the legality of a toy that's being made, because the prototype for Marauder Megatron exists. I don't know what the legality of just like going, why don't we just make this? We already have it. It's already developed. Why not just make it? There's probably some nonsense behind it. Like maybe the rights or some kind of legality goes to the person who originally sculpted it or something like that. I don't know. But they've never done it before. I don't think they'd ever do it. Unsure, depends on how it was created. Oh, well, there we go. If it was created by the studio we were working with for this show, then technically, yeah, a lot of these designs were just Derek designs, I think. So I would imagine a lot of the designs that Derek did would just be a no, because they didn't, like, I imagine Derek was just, like, sketching, you know, because he's an artist, or he was an artist, and he enjoyed doing that stuff, so he probably was just doing things for fun. And they went in the book, because Jim went, oh, these are cool. It's like, yeah, throw them in the book. Probably not, like, Hasbro, boom, stamped, this is it. So that's probably what they'll get to here. Where was I? Technically, if it was created by the studio we were working with for the studio, then technically it should be our property. Yeah, that's what it'll be coming down to. But if it's fan created or came from other outlets probably being Derek, then there might be some creator rights that we'd have to look into. Things featured in the Allspark Almanac, for example, it was very interesting because the rights issues get a little complicated. Yeah, I thought it would be that kind of stuff, especially when dealing with even some of the Japanese media stuff like that. We have the rights to Transformers characters that are in it, but the human, no one cares about the human character. You don't need to do the human characters, but the human characters that show up, those aren't ours, which is very weird. But no one's asking you to make the human characters. No one. Why do you even say that? No one's asking you to make the human characters. We don't expect that. Why do you throw that in? We don't expect that. We don't expect a Marty Eisenberg action figure. You know, at least I wouldn't. Well, okay. That feels like they just threw it in there. Well, if you want the human characters, it's like, no. Generally, I think most Transformer fans will be like, give me the Cyclonus. Give me the Striker. They were actually in the show as well, so you should hold those rights. Do the Marauder Megatron. We've seen it. We know it exists. Just make it. So there has to be something else there. And then like some of the stuff from stuff that was produced for TV magazines that launched back then, like the manga, some of those characters are ones we need we kind of need to work out the right issues with. Some might be very simple situations too, but that's something we'd have to look into. Meaning no. I imagine that's just no. I think at best that would mean they'd look at the designs and take the designs. I don't think that means that they would use the style of making toys that they did then, because I think Hasbro's gotten a little bit cheaper in a lot of ways when it comes to making figures. So the Marauder Megatron, I don't think they'd put that out normally. Mr. White, Marauder Megatron would be a HasLab. Yeah, I can see that. Marauder Megatron would be a HasLab project, and he'd probably be like £200. $250. And realistically, if he came out, he should only be £60. Because I think, no, less. I can't remember how. There's probably how much were the animated leaders when they came out? They were probably like £50, I think. I reckon, something like that. So yeah, HasLab, $250, £200. Well, I wouldn't guarantee, but if they did it that way, that's how it would happen. That's how it would happen. Yeah, that's, again, cynical way of looking at it, but that's how I think it would go. Since Autotropers are happening, are the troop builders something you're interested in doing more of, like Vircons? Fans will buy lots of one figure. Will you make lots of one figure for people to buy? I'm going to say that their answer is yes. Let us see. Troop building is also, let's look at the G.I. Joe line, right? They totally don't like build troop building for G.I. Joe, right? Come on. They love troop building. It's easy money. Troop building is definitely something that even our director super wants to do more of. Why does your director want to do that, do you think? Why would the director really want to do troop builders? It's a mystery, chat. I think we have to get them out of exclusives and more into the mainline. Why would you do that? Why would you want them to be mainline? Who knows? So it's definitely something that we've talked about. It's something that we, compared to other action brands, kind of lack. We compared to other action brands kind of lack. Oh, right, yeah, okay, because G.I. Joe can do it. It's harder for Transformers to do, because there are a lot of individual characters for Transformers. There aren't a lot of troops. Okay. I was trying to wrap my head around what I was saying. There are these background characters that never got made. So we're testing the waters. So we did the Bailiff Pit. Bailiff Pit. I can read. We did the Bailiff Pit for the Comic-Con exclusive. That was all right. It was all right. Everybody was after that to buy multiples. Yes, because they wanted the Sharktacon and the God. They didn't want multiple quintessons, granted. We did the Sharktacon in Studio Series. People wanted multiples of that. I never got one. I thought it was too much for what it was. I wanted one, though, but it was too much money. We were doing this other new Troop Builder kit to see if people were interested. And then, clearly, we've made the Seekers mold 900 times. At least they know. At least they know. It's a shame that other people don't. And they keep buying them. We can make it a little more purple, and you can build out your entire Seeker army. Oh, God, no. The G2 Cybertronian Trooper was a head swapped Mark and Hasui came up with. So we're looking into multiple heads things for head swapping gimmick. Sweet Jesus. I would want to, as XL Hedge says, I'd want a Sorry Sumdak figure. Even if it's like G.I. Joe reclassified / Powerline Lightning Collection / Legends Black Series figure. I wouldn't want one, but I could understand people being okay with getting one. At least the armored, powered up Sari. That makes sense why fans would want that. Fan Zone would also be nice. Yeah, I could see that. The problem is, I don't see them doing it again in the animated style. I think they'd make them look realistic. They make them look like real people. Does any of the Hasbro lines have any fat people? Are there any big fat chunky people? Because, Fanzone's not a small boy. He's kind of a chunky boy. And I don't think they've done any fatties, but I might be wrong. All right. Another question. For God's sake. Any possibility of a new G1 soundtrack and not just select pieces? 40th anniversary seems like a good place to do that. Okay, so maybe. One-on-one with Evan. These are one-on-one questions with Evan. These look like they're shit questions. Chat, should we go through these? Do you want me to go through these questions as well? I'll let chat make up my mind. Do we do these questions as well, or should we leave it at that? Are these one like I can understand why these ones were kind of okay to go through. There was some substance here. These ones looks like they might annoy me. What do you think? Well, I'll read a few, and then hopefully XL Hedge or Mr. White or anybody in chat will let me know. XL Hedge says Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black mostly have fatties. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, I forgot Marvel Legends have the Blob. Yeah. Wow, redo the Blob into Fan Zone. Harsh. All right, one-on-one with Evan. Chat, let me know if we should do these or not. I'll read a few and, you'll let me know yes or no. Overall, what is the Gamer Edition fig you'd most like to do? Titan Trypticon or Fall of Cybertron Combaticons? Wow. Now that Jolt is coming with Powling's Hotshot, are there any plans to do the rest of the mini-cons as well? Mark and I have talked about it. We know Armada fans want them. We are discussing how to get them out there. Will Jolt get a retail release? No. Maybe at some point we will do a version that goes with the retail hotshot. Since Commander Optimus Prime, Armada Optimus Prime is now out, can you tell us the full story of the Takara version we'd seen if you know it? The Takara Prime was developed by a different team at Takara that doesn't work with the Hasbro toy team. That's interesting. The Hasbro team asked for it, but the model couldn't be located. Huh. So the Commander toy... Oh, so that toy that we saw years ago has vanished. Oh, well, that would explain why we've never seen it. Because it's vanished into the ether. Oh my god. Possibility of Siege Astro Train release without the battle damage. Who the fuck wants that mold? No. If you're going to do Astro Train, do a new Astro Train. Why would you want Astro Train but with just out the battle damage? What's wrong with you? No. Answer. Absolutely. Maybe expect Astro Train to appear in Studio Series. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's gonna be a repaint of the Siege figure. He's gonna be more expensive than Siege as well. Because he's Studio Series. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who? No. You're a bad person. Whoever asked this. No. No. I want a paper so I can bop you on the nose. No. Oh. Makes me sad. How was the Armada Prime sold in comparison to other... How has the Armada Prime sold in comparison to other commanders? He seems to frequently sell out on online shops. From what I've heard, he does keep selling out because he's a fan favorite. Yeah, he's selling out. He's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. No, you can stop. I don't want to start crying. That Armada Prime, it didn't disappear. Someone took that sucker home. Oh, I could see that. So Mr. White says to stop. Him saying that makes him want to cry kind of makes me want to keep going. Lucknut won the Hall of Fame vote, so would the figure happen? Oh, it could happen. Oh, wasted fucking time. Will the future of the Predacons follow the original? No, I don't care. How about unmade fossilizers? No, yeah, maybe. Will we see Machine Wall stuff? Maybe. Overall, what are the legacy figures you'd most like to do? I don't know, some cool ones. Yeah, I'd like to see some toys. Keep going for the content. Oh my god. Okay, we'll skip those ones because they were endless. So for the new Energon Optimus Prime, would he still have his trademark chunkiness? Well, it's certainly logical if we did this. Wouldn't it be cool if we did this fucking toy? I mean, if we did this thing, it would certainly be a thing that we did. Have you plans for... Oh, these are the worst fucking questions. These are the meme questions that me and Mikey keep telling people not to do. Have plans for the mainline releases been impacted by what they can accomplish with HasLab in any way? They're not going to answer this. Not properly. Kind of. There's been some alignment with future plans for some characters and HasLab. That's concerning. And where they come from. I don't like the sound of that. That sounds like we've seen that we can make a lot more money doing, or we can potentially get a lot of money doing this. Potentially, if we choose the right product. Ugh. How about an Apeling retool? Yeah, we do have to do him. We have to retool him. He wouldn't be a new mold. Any interest in doing Rise of the Beast Maximals in their original color schemes? What are you doing? Why are you asking for repaints? I think it could be a fun exclusive. Why not do it for the Bumblebee series? But it wouldn't go in Studio Series. No, I'd go in Bumblebee. It would be where all the weird shit goes. It'd be in the Bumblebee line. Are there any plans for some large Rise of the Beast characters like Stratosphere or even Unicron to get a toy? We get that a lot. Maybe Unicron. Maybe we'll do one. Oh my god. Hasbro projects have been exclusively War for Cybertron / Legacy so far. Could Studio Series HasLab project happen? Maybe it could. I'd want it to. Maybe it could happen. Fuck me. So many of these questions go, maybe. I can't answer, but yeah, maybe it could happen. Since Studio Series Commanders now exist, have you considered redoing... I don't need to finish the question. This is another maybe. Have you considered redoing Age of Extinction Grimlock as one since he's huge in the film? Oh, how about doing the other Dinobots? The Dinobots we've talked about, but we think Commander Clash would be inaccurate and would be too small. I think we need to do them Titan class to scale with the Voyagers. Oh my god, fuck you. Oh my god, that's a horrible idea. Can you imagine the rise of the Age of Extinction Dinobots for 5 years? They'd be putting out Titans figures? That sounds like a fucking terrible idea. That sounds awful. Oh my god, it would take so long. I mean, it's taken so long to get the Studio Series ones to come out. Can you imagine the Titan the Titan class ones? Jesus. Does Rise of the Beast Air Racer have a robot mode? or were the toy ones something that... No, we created the toy robot mode. It was not provided to us by the studio. Yeah, that makes sense. Could Paddle, Scorn, and any other newer Dinobots go on the 86 line? I think they would continue in Lego. Yeah, they weren't in the movie, so no, they wouldn't be there. Overall, what are the Studio Series figures you'd most like to see? I don't fucking care. Oh my god, there's so much trash here. So much trash. If there was a Sonic... if there was a Sonic Transformers collab, which of... what is this? Which of Eggman's egg machines would you like to make? What is this question? Well, I think I would definitely want to get the get in Eggman's standard flying egg ball mobile. Perhaps make a pseudo headmaster. Oh, that sounds stupid. And plug it into the other... Okay, that sounds kind of fun and stupid. What a fucking stupid question.
What would you do if you could make a Transformers Sonic crossover figure? What Eggman machine would he be in?
Also, the fact he said Eggman, clearly not a Sonic fan, right? Clearly, this is a fake fan of Sonic who asked this question, right? Like, if he wanted to be a real fan, he'd say, let me reword the question. If there was a Sonic / Transformers collab, which of Dr. Kinterbor's machines would you make? Which of Dr. Kinterbor's machines would you make? And then be like, who's Dr. Kinterbor? You say, as he put, well, actually, it's Dr. Robotnik's name before he became Dr. Robotnik. That's what I do. Will Tidal Wave come from the... Oh, Christ, no, I hope not. Titan Nemesis mold. No, thank God. There was never a plan to retool the Nemesis mold into Tidal Wave. Does that mean there were plans to retool it into something else? Probably not, because they don't really do repaints or retools of the Titan class figures. Usually. There are a few exceptions, but usually they don't do it. Last question, because yeah, these hurt. These hurt. A lot of these cause me pain. Will there be more figures that can transform into weapons for the Titan Masters to wield? I think it's possible. Fuck me. Zarek. We did 6-stick gun for Metroplex. On that note, well, yeah. So he can have ankle articulation. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Titan class for Metroplex is pretty wank. I agree. It was bad when it came out, I thought. I remember playing with Dave's back in the day and thinking, wow, this is not good. Mr. White said, where are my Rock Lords? They're in hell, burning forevermore. That's where they'll be, Mr. White. No one likes Rock Lords. The best you'll get for Rock Lords is a third-party company coming in and being like, we'll do some Rock Lords. Meh. XL Hedge says, Black Mamba already did a third-party Titan class sized Studio Series Grimlock. Christ, how big was it? I recognize the name Black Mamba, but I can't remember. Yeah, how big was he? He must have been huge. Must have been huge. That's all the news. That's all of the news for this week, chat. We managed to milk the biscuit, if you would, of the questions, thankfully. I guess I could talk about what I did this week, what I done for fun, and all that jazz. I got a few things, because, I thought, oh, I have money. Why don't I set it on fire? Why not do that? So I actually got the Armada Legacy Megatron, right? The Legacy one. I have him. He was on a slight sale from Amazonia. Yeah. He was, instead of being like £50 or £90, however much he is at full price, he was like 42, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll get him. I'm kind of intrigued. The figure, like, I have him, and I have the Armada Galvatron, the original Armada Galvatron, down here with me right here and now. So, the Megatron, not worth full price, I don't think. He is very, very easy to transform. He is like deluxe scale complexity. He is 22 steps, which I think is the general amount of steps you take for a deluxe figure to transform. It's pretty bare bones. How does he compare to the original, the let's say the Galvatron, because it's not technically the original toy. It is different. But not really. Different color scheme. How does it feels bare bones compared to that Galvatron figure. Why do I say that? Because it feels like the gimmicks that they took away a lot of gimmicks from that toy. obviously. That Galvatron Megatron mold has a lot of things you can do to make it playable. What they add in the Legacy figure, I don't think makes up for the fact of what they take away. So, let me pick up the Galvatron as well, just so I know. So, Megatron does not come with a Minicon. Galvatron, Megatron, the original release came with a Minicon. So that's already like another figure, another play feature that it just straight away does not have. The Armada version has a gimmick in both shoulders, you know, but we don't need to talk about how good the gimmicks are. We'll just talk about that they can do things. So he has gimmicks in his shoulders, so he can do that. He has his little horn pinchy thing. You know, you can pinch his head snippers together. His turret on his back. It has two features. It has a few actually. You can attach a Minicon and flip up the missiles, which activate lights and sounds, and have a firing missile gimmick. There is another action feature which you can activate with a Minicon on his back, which activates more lights and sounds. The turret has a spring, and you can pull it in and release it, and it fires off the missile. It's not actually spring-loaded, but you kind of pull it in and you can shoot it off, so it's got that as well. The lights and sounds, as I mentioned. And you can get the front to swap around to the front, and it has a crank on the side to spin it round and round and round. And then on his legs, obviously, he has the 2 leg gimmicks, which are quite fun as well. So, what doesn't the original one have? Because all of those features that I mentioned, all of those features are taken out of the Legacy version. He has none of those features. So what does this one have that figure doesn't? Okay. Oh, he can also, the original one can rotate his shoulders, right? His big treads can actually rotate. They cannot do that on the Legacy version. So what else can the Legacy? Oh, what can the Legacy one do? Oh, he has a knife gimmick. The original one has a knife gimmick coming out of his hand as well. Forgot about that. He has that knife gimmick that his hand has. So we'll get to it. What can the Legacy one do? What can the Legacy one do? He can move his legs forwards and back. You can maybe hear it. You maybe can't. He can move his legs forwards and back. He has a hip swivel. He has a knee bend, 90-degree knee bend, and he has an ankle rocker. That's it. That's it. So you lose all. Oh, you can also take the turret off the cannon and put it onto one of his hands. So remember, all those features I mentioned from the Armada toy, right? All of those features and the Minicon, and we replace it with forward and backwards legs, hip joint, I should say, knee joint, and ankle rocker. 1, 2, 3. Like, you get 3 bits of things, new things, compared to the original, right? The transformation is similar. It's not different enough that I think it's really worth mentioning. The only things that you really do differently are on the Legacy one, you can pull the treads forward and up, so they kind of go closer to his head. And then you can swing these parts that go under his boobs down to help fill out the waist area for the tank mode, and that's about it. I do not think this is a better version of the original toy. I think in terms of posability, for the legs, it's better. The fact that you can't move the treads forwards and backwards is bizarre. It feels like they should. The way that you move them, or the way that you get the arms to move forward, is the same way that they've done it on, you know, the G2 Laser Optimus Prime, which I don't think is a good way to do it, which is you lift the flap up in front of the arm, and then you can move them forward, which always just makes it look weird. It looks weird. It's a limited amount of movement that you get from it. For some reason, they've also got the treads on a hinge, so you can swing them far out to the left and to the right. They don't peg in. I don't know why those hinges are there. I don't think it really facilitates with the transformation, but they're there for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this figure is inherently bad. I just don't think if you literally compare the two and you compare the prices. I can't remember what was Megatron back in the day. Mega? Was he a Mega? Whatever Megatron was back then, I can almost guarantee you he's not 50 to 60 pounds. This new Legacy one is. And I don't think there is a massive upgrade between the two. One does look... you can say, if you said that one looks more accurate to the show and looks a little less silly, I'd say yes. Now, if we talk about... Oh, no, he doesn't. He's got... Yeah, okay, I'll give it the original one doesn't have waist articulation. Okay, he's got that going for him as well. If we're talking about what's a better toy, especially for a child, the original one. 100%. The original one is 1,000% better. It has way more things it can do. It's as easy to transform. It's really heavy. Like, it's comparing the two, he's really heavy compared to him because he's got the all the gimmicks in his back. He's got all the gimmicks all across of his legs and all that kind of jazz. There's so many parts on this original release. I was gonna sell this Galvatron at one point. I'm not gonna now. I'm not gonna. I like it too much. Might have to get the original Megatron at some point. Wow, look at me thinking about picking up Armada toys. Toys I was like berating all these years ago. All those years ago, I was like, fucking Armada toys. I'm like, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. It's all clicky too. All super clicky. You know what? You know how on the original Megatron Galvatron, it feels like you should be able to move his knees. Like, inherently as a toy collector or an action figure person, you're like, it's weird that he doesn't have knees. That's how I feel about the shoulders on this Legacy Megatron, Armada Megatron. That's the feeling of, that's weird that you can't do that with him. It's really weird. I would definitely say this is one of those, probably wait to get him cheaper. Personally. Now, am I okay with spending £42? Yeah, I guess. He should have been that price to begin with. I don't think he should have been any more than that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say rush out and buy it now. It doesn't have the anti-seal of approval, is what I'm saying. Exelhead says the only other bot that could be the nemesis would be Triptychon, but from Fall of Cybertron Prime. That's a good point. That's a fair point. Yeah, that could be the case. I finished Persona 5 this week. All Persona 5 is diddly done. Royal, I should say. All Persona 5 is Royal is finished. I now understand the Akechi pancake memes, which I only learned about today. And I went, oh, that makes sense. Yes, I understand the meme. I'd say it's good. I like Persona 5. It's definitely not as good as 4. The best part of Persona 5 is the stuff with Dr. Maruki. The stuff that takes place after the original game, the Royal stuff. That stuff's really good. Maruki might be the best villain of the Persona games. Of any of the Persona 3, 4, and 5 that I've played. I think he's easily the best. I don't want to go too much into it, because if you haven't played Persona 5 Royal, you should. It's very good. It's still not my favorite, but Maruki is my favorite villain. I like Ketchi as well. I just didn't really latch on to most of the cast. And I think some of the social links in 5 are disappointing. Compared to 4. 4 has some bad ones as well, but I think generally across the board, I like 4 more. But 5's still good. 5 is still a good game, and if you haven't played it and you like that style of game, definitely worthwhile. I've started Persona 5 Strikers, the Musou game. It's definitely got some of that Omega 3 Koei Tecmo clunk to it in how it plays, and I have a feeling that it's going to still be very much a bit of a button masher, but it's a lot better than most of the Warriors games. It's a lot better. It's got I think probably because most of the hard work's been done for them. The style, the look of the characters, the systems, and how things work are all taken from the Persona series of the Megami Tensei series and transferred pretty well over, to be honest, to this new game format of an action fighter Musou game. It's a pretty decent transfer over. It's not a perfect one, but it's a lot better than most of their games where it doesn't feel like there's much innovation to them. I think generally people say that they do a lot better job when it's not So when it's somebody else's property, they put a lot more effort into it somehow for whatever reason. And I definitely feel that that's the case here. But yeah, Persona 5 Strikers, I've only just started it, so I can't say a huge amount about it, but currently I am enjoying it. Persona 5 Royal, one problem with Persona 5 Royal is it gets really easy. At some point along the game, it just became incredibly easy, and there's a really broken power that you can get from hanging out with your friends, which allows you to auto-win against lower-leveled enemies that the game considers to be really weak. So when you're doing grinding in certain areas, you can just like smash through the grind and become really overpowered really quickly. And I wasn't going out my way to do it. Every fight I see, I take. I would never pass up the opportunity to kick the shit out of something. But I got to I've never got to level 99 in a Persona game, and I was easily level 99 with all characters by the end of that game. Easily. So, there you go. The only other thing I did this week was I picked up some Lego, because I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to set fire to money this week. I got the Lego Ghost Rider on bike set. That's pretty fun. I wish he sat a little bit better on the bike. You get a Lego Ghost Rider Lego minifigure. Then you get, if you didn't know, then you get to build a little body for him. And then you get to build a big bike for that robot body to ride on. It's pretty neat. And I like mechs and all that jazz. Let's see. I can find an image of it. Ghost. And there it is, Ghost Rider. I was going to say, you must have an image here. Website. There we go. This thing. It's pretty neat. It's maybe a little overpriced, but I think a lot of the Marvel licensed stuff from Lego is more overpriced than it has any right to be. But yeah, it's pretty good. The Ghost Rider looks a bit silly. I thought you'd be able to take the fire off the top of his head. You can't do that. And I wish he sat on his bike a little better. He's always leaning a little bit too far back. And his hands obviously don't grasp onto the handlebars desperately well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. And then I got a Ninjago Green Ninja versus Skeleton mech. I don't know what they're called. I don't care about the story of Ninjago. I just know it's a green ninja in mech suit versus skeleton-looking boy in a mech suit. So it's a similar idea. The builds are similar-ish. They're a little different. Like theirs don't have waist articulation, but they have a little bit more articulation here and there just because of how the build goes. And I really like building them as well. Lego, unsurprisingly, chat, still a very fun toy. Maybe the best toy on the market. Maybe. Still overpriced though. Excuse me, are very expensive. I would say get Lego while it's on sale. I'd find it hard to... Well, I say I'd find it hard to justify getting fully expensive Lego sets, but then, you know, there are the really expensive Lego sets that are exclusive to the Lego store, like the Rivendell set and the big castle set, which are like £300 and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe I should be stupid or something. I don't know. I don't think I really have £300 just to set on fire, but it's something to think about. Oh, I tell you something. I put in an order for the Fans Hobby Dreadwind. Not Dreadwind. Buster. My apologies. Fans Hobby Buster. It seems like Show Z do debit card, and I don't have to go through PayPal for that, so I was able to put in an order for it. It's currently standing at, I think I think the last time I checked it said we're waiting to send it out. Is it still saying that? Yeah, payments received, waiting for the shipping. So I should be getting that at some point in the future. Looking forward to that. It will quell my thirst for being sad about not getting Huntsman. Chat, if you have any questions for me, you better slap those into the commentos ASAP. Because we're going to be wrapping up the show now, because I think that's everything of real value that I've done this week. Racking my brain sack. Can't think of anything else. I'm going through the Persona 5 anime. Might stop. It's you know, not a great adaptation. Who's really surprised? It's not a great adaptation of the thing. So yeah, if you got any questions, poop them over. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube as Decayed Andy, Rotten Corpse of a Human Being. where else? Moonbase 2 forums, Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can find us there. Over on patreon.com/Moonbase2. And if you do $2 each month, you can help support the show and all that jazz, which would be very much appreciated. And hopefully, we'll get some shows for the Patreon up there in the future. Hopefully, if time permits and all that jazz. I see no questions, so we'll wrap the show up here. So thank you, everybody, for coming on by. Hopefully, it's been an okay show. Hopefully, I've dragged you through the mire of no news and no Mikey and delivered a somewhat entertaining show. At least that's a hope and a prayer and a dream. Until next week, everybody, I've been Andy, Decade Andy, on my Todd. You've been the chat, you've been the audience. If you want to join the chat and you want to talk like Mr. White and Mr. Exelhead, you can come over to the Decade Andy Twitch channel, or you can go over to the YouTube channel Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, 8 o'clock in the evening on a Sunday day. And you can chat with us here and there. No, Mr. White says, no question from me. I gave you the chance to stop reading questions, but you misread and plowed through them. That's true. But those were questions from SDCC. But I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming on by. Have a very good day, good evening, and of course, a good night. I'm dead on the inside. I am, of course, dead on the outside. And this is my Twitch outro. And I'll see you suckers next time on the Moonbase 2. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.